Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia, where we love making wreaths. With me today is my sweet Louie, and in today's video we are doing a crisscross method wreath. I don't do a lot of these, but when I do these I usually use 10-inch Deco mesh, and you can get away with using one roll of 10-inch by 10 yards. For double fullness, you can definitely use 21-inch Deco mesh, and that is what I'm going to be doing today. But as I said, you can definitely use a roll of 10-inch Deco mesh. You can also do this wreath using two different colors, like pink and blue for a baby shower, or white and red for Valentine's. I will include videos where I did that in the description box below so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. Well, that's enough chit chat. Let's get started on our beautiful crisscross bee wreath. Let's go over the supplies for this wreath. I'm going to start with this Deco mesh that is 21 inches by 10 yards, and as you can see, a beautiful bee theme, a cat for inspection, of course. For a ribbon, both of these are wired. This one has a little bit of a glitter and it's 2.5 inches. This one is 1.5 inches and it's a really pretty bee themed one. It has a little bit of a burlap background, just like the little wings on this sweet little bee. And this is a bee pick I got at Craft Outlet, a piece of felt, and a honeycomb sign. For this method, I highly recommend getting 2 different colors of pipe cleaners, and you are going to need 12 of each color. For our wreath base, I'm going to be using this metal 14-inch Wreath Form. To add a little decor to the honeycomb, I just got some greenery. I had laying around some white flowers and some ribbon. This is a 1/4 satin white ribbon. There are 2 ways of doing this. Either use 2 different colors, or you can use one color but make half of the pipe cleaners half the size and then attach. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the pink first, because I think you can see that much better. This is super easy, you guys. First 6 go on rows 1 and 2 and attach. Once you have all 6 attached to the inner row, now I'm going to grab the other 6 and attach them on this intersection on row 3 and 4, but I am going to point it towards row 3 so it's not facing out too much, and this one we're going to face out. I use 2 rows when I attach because I feel like it makes the pipe cleaner a little bit more stable. Once you have the first set attached, 6 on the inside, 6 on the outside, all you're going to do is you're going to attach on the opposite side, meaning if this is 3, 4, you're going to attach on 1, 2. This is on row 1 and 2 in the center. You're going to attach on row 3 and 4 on the outside with the opposite color. You don't have to lay down that second row because we're going to start with that. And then just continue doing the same thing opposite of each pipe cleaner. I know there are a lot of pipe cleaners, but that's the reason that we have 2 of them, and we're going to focus on one of the colors at a time, which makes it so much easier. I'm putting a cutting mat underneath so I can measure my loops. You can do this by eye, you don't have to measure, and your loops can be anywhere from 8 to 10 inches. I'm going to be keeping mine about 9.5 inches. I'm going to gather the end, even it out a little bit, and I'm going to go on the white pipe cleaners first. A nice attachment, 2 twists. Another optional thing that I always do is reinforce the tails. I'm going to attach this tail to row 2 about 1 inch away from the pipe cleaner. Cut the tail off. I'm ready to start making my loops. I'm going to measure off my 9-inch loop, and the simplest part about this is basically we are going to zigzag around the wreath. So we're starting with the white, so I'm going to go white, 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 all the way around, making 9-inch loops. Let's attach. You can choose to poof out your deco mesh now or later. In this type of wreath, I like doing it right when I make the poof, just because it's going to get complicated once you start crisscrossing over. Or maybe you can go all the way around once and then open all of them up and then move on to the next pipe cleaners. You can definitely also do that. There is just something about this bee theme that makes me happy. The colors on this deco mesh are just so gorgeous. At this point, I'm going to continue zigzagging and attaching my 9-inch poofs to all the white pipe cleaners only. I'm on my last loop with the white pipe cleaners, and I'm going to complete that circle by attaching to where we started. And at this point, if you are moving on to a different color, definitely do the same thing. Go ahead and attach it right here, and then zip tie it behind this first loop so it's hidden. And then you're just going to grab your second color, go ahead and start and attach it right here to this next one, and off you go zigzagging. But we are going to do something a little bit different because I'm not changing a deco mesh. I'm using the same deco mesh, and I'm just going to continue filling up the wreath. This is my first row all done. There's that white pipe cleaner. Here I'm going to move on to this pink one, going straight down. No loops, nothing. We're just going to make a straight, a little bridge, I guess. 2-3 twists. Since I'm not going to be using the pink pipe cleaners at all, I'm twisting the pipe cleaner up about 1 inch from the connection and then folding it in and back. When I'm measuring my loop, I don't do loosey-goosey. I do nice and taut because I want to make sure I have plenty of deco mesh to complete the wreath. Now, I have done 9 inches going all the way around. Since we are going to be kind of hopping over and crisscrossing over the loops that I've already made, I'm actually going to move up to 10 inches to my next pipe cleaner. A few twists so I can cut off this pink pipe cleaner and hiding the little tail. As you can kind of see, the extra inch on top is a big deal. And one of the reasons for that is we are using 21-inch deco mesh. So this is a fairly full wreath, and we want to make sure, look how puffy this is. Oh man, this is gorgeous. Gorgeous, darling. Okay, measuring off my next 10 inches and going to the next pink pipe cleaner. And as you can see, it's so easy because I have my pipe cleaners really contrasting colors, and it's just easy to go throughout the wreath and attach. I'm going to continue zigzagging to my pink pipe cleaners, making 10-inch loops on this second time around, or on the second set of pipe cleaners. I am on my last loop, so measuring out my 10 inches. If you cut the pipe cleaner off, I still have some left, so I'll be fine. But if you did cut the pipe cleaner off in the beginning, all you do is just zip tie this to row 3 right on the wreath. But I am going to put it around my pipe cleaner, fold the tail back, going to cut off about 3 inches. Push the tail towards the back between rows 3 and 4. Use a little zip tie and zip tie it in the back. Cut off the tail. Push the tail in so you have a nice smooth back. Here is where we started, and here is where we ended. At this point, go ahead and look over all your loops. Maybe you forgot to open one, or you want to just fluff it out. That's what I'm doing right now. By the way, I wanted to show how much was left over when I was done. So I really could have done 10 inches going all the way around, or maybe do 10 inches and 11 even on top. That is a lot of deco mesh that's left over. The next thing I'm going to do is all the white pipe cleaners on the inside row, I'm going to pull out because I will be using these. But the pipe cleaners on the outside row, going to get rid of those. So just twist them up and then hide the little tail. I'm going to cut my beautiful 1.5 inch bee ribbon into 11-inch strips. And I'm going to need 12 of these. Then I'm going to grab my ribbon, fold the ends in half on both sides, cut out little triangle, making sure I cut the little part where it bends over so that I can have 2 strips of ribbon plus the dovetails done at the same time. Next, I have my 2.5 inch ribbon, and I'm just trying to show you how pretty and iridescent it is. It's just kind of like very light glam, just really, really light. Same thing, I'm going to make 11 inch strips, and I'm going to need 12 of these. To cut the ribbon, we're going to do the same thing on both sides, fold the edges together, and cut a little triangle. The ribbon is all cut up, and now we're going to make ribbon bundles. We're just going to make 6 ribbon bundles, but what we're going to do is we're going to overlay the 1.5 inch over the 2.5 inch. The yellow is really going to brighten up that little bee ribbon. Just like this, I'm going to collect in the center and attach it to the pipe cleaners. All these pipe cleaners are on the inner row. Cut the little tail and hide it, and we'll take care of these when we're all done. Oh, these are going to be so pretty when we open them up. For now, I'm going to go ahead and attach all of these, and then we're going to do the sign, attach the sign, and then open the rest of these up. When it comes to the sign, you can do a few things. You can paint it yourself. Now, if you're talented like my friend Country Charm by Tracy, you can make a masterpiece out of this. Me, I do color by numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this little bee. Then we're going to paint it white, and then we're going to put this felt piece behind it. And this little guy is going to sit in place of this little one. Now, after taking this off, I know I'm going to do some damage possibly to this honeycomb, so I'm going to use the back side when I take this off. And by the way, I'm just using an envelope knife to take the bee off. The little bee is off. I don't think I did too much damage to the back of it, but don't forget, we're going to cover it with the felt. Let me take this little tag off, and this is where I'm going to paint with some white chalk Rust-Oleum paint in linen white, and I'm just going to give it a nice coat. I don't think it's going to need more than one, just because this is a pretty light wood. The honeycomb is all done, and if you made this one pretty, you can definitely hot glue it back on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to grab my felt piece and put it right over that. This felt piece is 12 inches by 8, but as you can see, if you get a piece that's 10 by 10, it's more than enough. And I'm going to start by hot gluing on the little thin pieces, not too much, very lightly, very quickly. And then I'm just going to slowly work my way out with the hot glue. And just like this, I'm filling in the honeycomb with some hot glue, a little thicker on the sides. Now I'm just cutting the excess off the edges. And then I'm going to grab this little bee. As you saw, I just pulled the pig from the side. They just stuck it in between the stitches, so it was super easy to pull out, and you can't even see where exactly, so nice and clean. And then I'm going to hot glue the sweet little bee just like this. Next, we're going to attach some floral wire. I already attached one right behind the bee. And you can do this before you put the bee on, of course. And as you can see, it's right there. And the other one I'm going to attach right there. The easiest way to do this is grab an awl and point it out to the corner that I'm going in, and then out this way, so that we have the little holes almost hidden. Let's grab a piece of floral wire, put it in, and then twist twice in the back. As you can see, the wire is right there, but about a foot away from the camera, and it's pretty much invisible. I got the greenery, the white flowers, and I'm just going to incorporate them together, grabbing my white ribbon. I'm just tying the ribbon in place, cut that little part off. Going to give it a little bit of hot glue because I'm going to go up a little bit and then we're going to go back down. You can also use jute cord to do this, and you can definitely do that because we have that burlap theme going a little bit, but I wanted the white, I wanted the elegance for the little white flowers. Look how elegant our little flower came out, and all I'm going to do is just lace it where I think it would look nice. A little bit of greenery goes a long way. I think this looks absolutely beautiful, and you can do one of two things. You can hot glue it to the actual honeycomb, or you can use a floral wire. I decided to use a floral wire and just put it around the base, grabbing another piece of floral. I'm going to attach at the base to make sure the flowers stay in place. Twist that in place. The florals are well attached, and I'm ready to attach my beautiful honeycomb decor onto the wreath. At this point, you kind of want to decide where you want it to go, how you want it to be on the wreath itself, attached to the wreath form on the back, and I'm attaching on the intersection on row 2. Now the other floral wire. Now that my sign is attached, we can go ahead and start opening up our beautiful ribbon bundles. I'm opening up the ribbon like a little flower, and as you can see, 11 inches is more than enough to cut the ribbon strips, because you can definitely see all the beautiful ribbon. You can see the deco mesh. This wreath is going to be so pretty. Next, we're going to do a hanging loop, and I'm using some jute cord. Going to put it on row 2, make a few knots, cut off the excess from the tail, and we're going to pull this from the front. At this point, you can cover the back if you would like. To cover the back, I'm going to use a placemat. This one is 15 inches in diameter, and that's what you want. If you're going to use fabric or felt, just make sure you cut it at about 14.5 to 15 inches. I'm going to put 3 zip ties on this placemat, and I'm going to attach it to row 4 of our wreath. When you're done, make sure that you send this little nub to the back so the wreath doesn't scratch the walls or the door that it's going to hang on. I was done with this wreath, but I thought something was missing, so I got more of those white little flowers that I made the bouquet with. I'm going to grab 6 of them, put them in between my ribbon bundles, just like this. A little bit of hot glue right on the stem, and I'm going to put it underneath my honeycomb. I think this added such a beautiful touch to the wreath. I hope you enjoyed this wreath tutorial. In the comments below, don't forget to say hello and let me know what is your favorite spring theme. For me this year, it's everything yellow, so bees and lemons. I'm loving that this year, but let me know maybe what you would like to have next year or you currently have. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you in our next video. Bye, everyone. Louis, say bye. Mwah! Mwah! Oh, you did that good. Good dog. Bye, guys.